The coronavirus pandemic, counties on both sides of the river imposed strict health regulations like mask mandates and virtual learning to slow the virus's spread. Now the Missouri Supreme Court is giving local health departments a leg up as they work to restore their ability to establish health restrictions during a contagious disease outbreak. Today, the High Court ruled in favor of local governments, so this allows them to move forward with appealing a Cole County judge's ruling invalidating local officials' health powers. The lawsuit came as former Attorney General Eric Schmitt pushed back against COVID-19 health restrictions. News 4 reached out to the current U.S. Senator from Missouri. His office declined to comment on this. Besides Schmitt, back in 2020, several other Republican lawmakers went public with their plans to limit government's power to impose health restrictions. This includes current state senator and state treasurer candidate Andrew Koenig.
This notion that we can lock down everything and shut this virus down is false. There's no scientific evidence that would point to that being true.
Well, St. Louis County Executive Sam Page sent News 4 a statement about this, saying they are pleased the court validated the county's position and they'll continue to ensure local health departments can make decisions necessary to protect and save lives.